Yes, I'm such a nerd. I mean, I'm wearing my Nintendo shirt right now.
Yeah, you are.
Clearly, the wardrobe is stepping down. We're all wearing.
You
t-shirts.
don't see the sweatpants under the table right now.
Yeah,
we're letting go of any of the. We're slowly but surely going to literally just roll out of bed and do this podcast. That's what I'm like.
You keep promising that, and so far we haven't.
Welcome to the Brooker Family Podcast. I'm Heather Brooker.
I'm Chris Brooker.
and I'm Channing Brooker.
This is a weekly family entertainment and pop culture talk show for parents and kids.
Yes, it is.
So glad you guys are joining us. This is episode 5. We are getting into March. Woo. March Madness.
Yeah.
I think that's about basketball.
It is
but
flying by.
that is not what we're about. We are not about sports here.
Almost my birthday.
Tell me
We're
about
going to
it.
talk about movies and TV shows. There's a lot of things happening in March. A lot of anticipated shows. This episode, we are going to talk about some reboots and resurgences that you want to keep an eye out for. And we're going to talk about some Yellowstone news. I'm excited. Absolutely love Yellowstone and everything Taylor Sheridan is doing. Oof. We're also going to give you some chansplaining with Blocksburg.
It's a Roblox game.
And then we're going to go into Brooker Beats, and we're going to talk about what Chris is recommending this week that you guys watch or listen to.
Yes.
Yeah. Watch
Music.
and listen to. Sorry, it's been a long day.
There's probably a video.
There is probably a video in there. So it's March. It's almost time for spring break. We don't have any plans as of right now to go anywhere or do anything.
I have an idea.
What is your idea?
New York, NYC.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I would love to go to New York, but Daddy poo-pooed it.
I'm fine with New York. New York's okay. We can do New York.
But why did you initially poo-poo it? That's what I don't understand.
The smell.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Really? It smells in LA, FYI.
Well, we don't go out that much in LA either.
Yeah, you are right about that. I don't know whose side to pick.
Mine, always.
Okay.
So I like New York City.
Yes.
I've always loved New York City. There's an energy to it. If you, there's Broadway that's there.
No, I know.
There's, it's such a great city, but it's not your jam. And I will never.
I don't know
And
why.
for some reason, it's never been my complete jam. I've never been in love with New York. I like New York.
Mm-hmm.
I've had fun every time we've gone, to be honest. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, we can go to New York. Let's go to New York. Why not?
Channing and I went. The last time we went was for a press junket for The Kid Who Would Be King.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, with Patrick Stewart. And I have the most amazing photo of me and Channing and Captain Picard.
Oh my gosh.
And that to this day is one of my favorite photos. Yes, I'm such a nerd. I mean, I'm wearing my Nintendo shirt right now.
Yeah, you are.
Clearly, the wardrobe is stepping down. We're all wearing
You
t-shirts.
don't see the sweatpants under the table right now.
Yeah.
We're letting go of any of the. We're slowly but surely going to literally just roll out of bed and do this podcast. That's what I'm like.
You keep promising that, and so far we haven't.
Yeah.
That's what all major comedians are doing anyway. Half of them look like they just rolled out of bed.
That's true.
To do their show. So I'm trying to level up a little bit, guys. I'm trying to elevate our family.
I would be like on the day that we are going to film, I would be like, okay guys, let's drive. Me half asleep.
Yes.
In the car.
Why are you so adverse to like brushing your hair and getting dressed up? What is that about?
It's annoying.
It's annoying?
I just wish it was something that doesn't exist and our hair was always perfect.
Oh, okay. So you want to look nice. You
That's
just
fair.
don't want to do.
No, I don't want to do any work.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. I get
can
it.
weirdly respect that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
And not look nice. Don't have to shower.
But it just automatically happens.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So
you
No work
have to
done.
shower.
all right, guys. So we're focusing. Come on. We are gonna talk a little bit about. Oh my God, you guys just totally made me forget what we're talking about in the show. We were talking about spring break.
Yep.
So yeah, we had talked about possibly going to New York or staying closer to home because we really only have a couple of days because Daddy has to work and we have the show.
I get a whole week off, I think.
You get a whole week off, but we're not going to be able to travel or go anywhere for a whole week.
Well, good, because half of that week we're going to be traveling, half of that week, and the other half video games.
Okay, we'll
see.
You're going to be living your best life. Either way. So, all right, we got to figure out a place to go. We'll figure out something to do for spring break.
Only for a couple of days.
And if anybody has any suggestions or ideas, let us know.
In the comments.
Where you like to go for like 2 days, basically.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days. I think that's
maybe we'll take
fair.
a quick trip to New York. Who knows? All right. So also the Oscars are happening this month.
Oh, yes.
Big month for movies. We're going to do like a whole separate deep dive into all the Oscar picks in our next episode. But it's going to be a really good... I think the Oscars are finally getting some of their gravitas back, some of their...
They're trying to,
their
for sure.
respect a little bit. So it should be a really good
Are you
show.
going to bet on the Oscars this year? You
No.
going to enter a poll?
No.
Or anything?
No.
Even for bragging
I
rights?
lose every year.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that this year. All right, guys. So let's jump into what's poppin'
In pop culture.
in pop culture. That's right. So there's a
Always
lot
wanted
of
to say
things
that.
out in the internet and out in the world. And this is a really tough segment, we realize. And Chris and I were talking about this. This is a really tough segment to manage because there's some things that are happening in the zeitgeist and in conversations that we don't necessarily want to talk about on this show because it may not be appropriate. Anything political, anything, that's not really family friendly topic.
Right.
So
Divisive topics
Or-
we don't want
yeah.
to really...
Or we could do the little session where I leave the room.
No, we're not going to do that. So basically, we have to try to find topics that we can discuss as a family that we are knowledgeable about, because the last thing I want to do is come on here and start spouting off information about something that we really know nothing about, because that happens too much online and in the world where
Yeah.
people act like they're experts and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So we try to find things for this segment that are family friendly, that we can all enjoy talking about together, but also people will enjoy hopefully listening to as well.
Well,
So
there's like a broadening aspect of it too.
Sure.
We have to make it somewhat broad because of the timing of the show,
right.
And things
so
like
we're
that.
going to talk about right now what's happening in pop culture. There's a lot of reboots and resurgences happening in television shows. So, what sparked this conversation Chris and I were having is we watched the new Night Court on Peacock. And I didn't know that was a show that needed to come back, that we needed a reboot. But it's fine.
I think that's the general consensus too. So,
Yeah.
and I'm speaking specifically to Night Court right now. It was like, yes, no one really asked for it. It was nice to see the sets again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That brought back some nostalgia, because I used to love Night Court back in the day. Hilarious sitcom, hilarious
what it
show.
is.
It's a very fun show before your time.
Okay.
But they rebooted it as kind of a sequel to the old show, and yes, unnecessary, but also not harmful at all. Not offensive at all. It's fine. It's funny.
It's about a court that happens at night. So there's a judge and a defender and a
Bailiff.
and
A clerk.
all of that stuff.
Yep.
I might wanna watch
Prosecutor. That was
that.
the word I was looking for. So it's like and they're all in court and they get these wacky cases and they're, all of that stuff. And it was a big show that was popular, in 80s and 90s? Or just 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Late 80s, late 80s.
And but now they brought it back, and that's just one of many shows I think that's happening too. They're bringing back Frasier this year.
Yeah.
I saw, which I'm kind of excited about. I loved Frasier.
Can
but
they
I didn't-
recreate the magic though?
I didn't love Frasier on the first go around though. I didn't watch it. It was not on my radar really.
Oh, okay.
But I watched a ton of it in reruns. Like if Frasier or Seinfeld are on late at night in reruns, I will watch that hands down over anything.
I did the same thing with Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't watch it first run, but in syndication, totally watched it.
Would you rather watch Yellowstone, but with like a whole new everything, or that TV show that you loved? I forgot the name of.
Frasier.
Yeah.
Would I rather watch Yellowstone with a whole new everything?
No, wait. Would you rather watch?
Yellowstone
Here's the
or
question:
Frasier?
Yellowstone or Office or Frasier?
Oh
Which
my
one?
gosh.
Which one? Which
That
one?
is a
That's a Sophie's choice.
that is a tough
dilemma right there.
choice.
Yeah, just pick one that you love the most.
I don't know if I can. Like I love Yellowstone. Absolutely love Yellowstone.
And The Office too.
Is it the
I'm
episode of
obsessed with
the is it the
Office.
episode of The Office that Mommy was on? Because that would be
I
a deciding.
will watch the episodes, multiple thank you.
episodes.
I will watch
Sorry.
the episodes of The Office that I'm on repeat.
Okay, here's
I would say, gosh, I don't know. Depends on the day. I think I would watch Yellowstone because I've seen all The Office multiple times and I've
And
seen
Frasier.
Frasier so many times. I probably watch Yellowstone. But here's the deal: Yellowstone is not a rewatch. It's not something I'm going to sit down and watch again and
Yes.
again. The Office, absolutely. Frasier, Seinfeld, absolutely.
Question:
What is your question?
Would you rather only watch Yellowstone for all of your life, or only watch The Office?
The Office.
For all of your life, or only watch Frazier? For
The
all
Office.
Okay.
The Office.
That is
No question. No question.
No question. The Office for sure.
But you're right. They are doing a lot of reboots and resurgences on a lot of these shows. You mentioned we talked about Karate Kid and Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah.
They rebooted Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to only call it Bel-Air now, and it's a drama.
Yeah, I
weirdly,
thought that was a very weird choice.
it's a very weird choice, but they're rebooting Daredevil again onto Disney Plus. They took it off of Netflix onto Disney Plus, and
Yeah.
they're revamping it for Disney Plus and stuff like that. So my question is all these reboots like Night Court and Daredevil and Cobra Kai for Karate Kid and Frasier and things like that, are they necessary? Is there a demand, or are people just being like, this was a cash cow back in the day, let's get some more money from it?
Yay.
Because based on the name recognition alone, So are they doing it because they like the show, or are they doing it because they just want to make some more money off of the name?
They're making money off the name because
Yeah.
the studios own the IP.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're going through and they're seeing all the IP, which is intellectual property. That's what IP stands for.
I know what IP stands for.
Okay, well now you do because I just told you. But IP is intellectual property, and basically what that means is someone's original idea that they came up with or created. So the studios and streamers are going through and going, what original IP do we own that we can bring back? Because the most expensive part of making a TV show is usually one of the most expensive part is paying for that original idea. And if they already own it, they don't have to pay someone for the idea or to develop it. They've got that already.
I didn't think about that side of it, but yeah.
So they've got all of this huge nostalgia factor, number one, and then you've got the IP for it. Why not? If you've got a built-in fan base of people in their 40s, 50s, whatever, who are going to tune back in and watch the show that they loved, why not reboot it and remake it? You can get a couple seasons out of it, get a couple eyeballs, subscribers,
Wonder
whatever.
Years. They did it with Wonder Years,
Yeah, they did
too.
it with Wonder Years.
They also
unnecessarily did it with Wonder Years.
But it actually was a really good show. Even the reboot
I
was
know
a really
that it
good
was,
show.
but it just was like, is there anything that can we just leave it and just let it be?
Well, see, I feel the same way about Frasier, and I feel the same way about Night Court, actually, too. Didn't need it.
I think they also rebooted Full House.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
That was
that's a good one.
Yes, and
Now-
they turned it into Fuller House.
Now that was really smart move, and I think what they did there and what other people are hoping to capture is not necessarily with the reboot, but a extension of the story. Because what happened was my generation grew up watching Full House, but now my daughter watched Fuller House. She didn't start watching Full House. She watched all of Fuller House.
And then watch Full House.
Yeah. So they got a new fan base, a new audience.
It's a generational.
Yeah, with her.
Yep.
Just like the 80s show and the 70s show.
Oh, now they have the 90s show.
That's what it was. That's what our conversation was sparked on.
It was the 90s show.
You guys, let me tell you, we watched that 90s show, which is rebooted from that 70s show on Netflix. And it is not great. I mean,
It has some swears in it.
it had a lot of swears, just really vulgar humor.
Some innuendo that wasn't
very
appropriate
adult
necessarily.
humor. Definitely not a show
For kids.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry, Dad.
No, go ahead.
I suggest it to the maybe like 15-year-olds.
Maybe, yeah.
12-year-olds.
Here's what I will preface all of this, by, and I'll say this repeatedly throughout our series, is that these are just our opinions. Every family is different. Your level of tolerance, your level of comfortability is going to be different than ours.
Tastes are different,
It may be the same. Your taste may be different. You may be fine with your kid watching a movie full of swears and full of, sexual innuendo and that sort of thing. And that's on you.
Yeah, that's on you.
That's not our jam. It's not my favorite thing to sit down with my kid and watch. So I was a little... that 70s show was not a show geared towards kids, and so it makes sense that 90s show would not be a show that's geared towards kids either. It just happened to be that we were clicking through, and we sat down, we were like, let's watch it. And we were like, whoa, this is not for 9-year-olds.
Also,
it started when he said the B word.
Yeah.
Also, that 90s show, for me, watching it, felt like a cash grab. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't genuine. There was no sense like Cobra Kai. The Karate Kid reboot.
Yes.
Essentially, that feels genuine as a continuation of the story. It didn't feel like they were just throwing plots together for a cash grab. 90s show did.
Well, also too though with Cobra Kai, it's been 30 years since those movies came out. I feel like that 70s show just went off the air like 10 years ago. Like, do we need to bring it back?
No, that 70s show went off the air
12 years ago?
maybe
No.
15 years ago.
Yeah. So my statement stands.
Yeah, no, it does.
All right.
It does.
Search it
I
up,
will
Mom.
kill you. I will take you down. So there wasn't really that.
Violence.
There wasn't really a big outcry for a reboot of it because there wasn't really, I don't think, that big of a fan base.
That's true.
For the show to begin with. People love Karate Kid. Like those
I loved
movies
it.
were a moment in time
Yeah.
to find the 80s in a lot of ways.
I
They
liked it.
briefly
You did like
toyed, I don't know if you remember this, but they briefly toyed with the 80s show. They had an 80s show that actually came out briefly. It got canceled like
right away.
within a couple
Yeah.
episodes, I think. But now they're doing the 90s show. But yeah, it just feels not genuine to me.
What's something that from the 80s, and I got to ask this on the red carpet, Ivan Reitman's son. Oh my God, why am I so embarrassingly forgetting his name? Ivan Reitman's son.
Larry.
Larry.
No.
There's a game.
Jason Reitman.
Jimmy Reitman.
No,
no,
Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman.
So here's the question I'll ask. I asked him this too, because this was when they were rebooting Ghostbusters and all that stuff.
Excellent reboot.
Is there any movie from the 80s or from your childhood that you would say, hands off, absolutely do not remake this. You can't and should not remake this.
Breakfast Club.
Oh, good one.
Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Channing,
Channing, it's you. If you don't have any answers to this one, it's okay. That's
Channing's
No,
like-
I'm trying to think. You guys keep on shouting out answers. I'm gonna try to think while
Okay.
you guys do it.
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, all those John Hughes movies.
Pretty Woman.
I
Ferris
really
Bueller.
want them. I want them to make a reboot of this movie, but since we're not talking about that,
Okay.
Encanto.
Oh,
Obviously.
we don't need a reboot of Encanto. It
Yes, we
just
do.
came out.
Yes, we
We
do.
need a second Encanto, maybe,
Yes,
not a
we
reboot of
A
it.
sequel.
I heard like the producers or the directors saying that they'll probably make like a TV show of Encanto.
Oh, maybe.
I heard about it on YouTube on news from this really cool guy who like figures out stuff. It's fine.
Anyway, that would make a good TV show.
Yes.
I think. A workable TV show.
Yeah. So there's a lot of just things from the 80s that we can just leave them alone. We don't
It's
have
hands
to
off.
Touch them.
We don't have to monetize everything and like try to reboot it and resell it and
Unless they make it a really good TV show.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. If the quality is there, if the scripts and the stories are there, that's great. Unfortunately, with that 90s show, the scripts and the story are not there.
So for everyone watching, what show or reboot or of series have you seen that you're either excited about or wish they would just leave alone? I want to hear from everybody out there.
Sure.
All right. And we briefly touched on Yellowstone. Love Yellowstone. They've got some new news out for Yellowstone.
There's going to be another prequel. You know, they're right in the middle of 1924.
1923.
I'm sorry, 1923. I always miss it by a year. 1923, which is great. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren is fantastic. The next prequel leading up to Yellowstone is going to be 1944. So it's going to take place 20 years after the current prequel. Of course, eventually leading up to current day Yellowstone. Now, current day Yellowstone, Kevin Costner is going to be stepping down. And Matthew McConaughey is going to be coming in.
Oh, that's really good casting.
It's excellent casting.
But it's going to be a different vibe, though. Matthew McConaughey brings a totally different swagger than Kevin Costner. But, you know, I don't know. I don't want to prejudge, but, like, it's just a different energy that those two actors have.
I've got other Matthew McConaughey news if you're interested.
What is it?
Well, speaking of Matthew McConaughey, this is off Yellowstone now a little bit, but he is the lead voice in the new Netflix cartoon,
What?
Agent Elvis.
Oh, what is that about?
Ooh, it says the word Elvis, so I know my grandma and my mom would love it.
It's
Yeah.
Elvis Presley. It's Elvis Presley in the height of his stardom when he was a big rock and roll star, big singer, pop culture icon, but secretly he was also a secret agent.
I think mom
Yeah.
would like that.
It's, from what I understand, and I've seen the previews, from what I understand, it's not necessarily for kids.
Oh,
There are some
okay.
swears in the cartoon.
Oh, it's an adult.
And there are some
Adult cartoon.
violence in the cartoon.
Oh.
But Matthew McConaughey is the
All
lead
right.
voice of Elvis, which I think is also great casting.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. speaking of Elvis, I finally finished watching the Baz Luhrmann Elvis.
You said it got better.
I would say I don't know if it got better for me, but it definitely was a story.
Wait, what? It was a what?
Well, that was a movie.
Had a perspective. It was not my favorite movie, and I love Elvis. Channing, stop doing that with your chair. I love Elvis, but this movie was just so bizarre, and it was like a really heightened, intense, Baz Luhrmann-y. Like, I kept expecting, like, the Moulin Rouge dancers to come out at any moment. The editing was quick and fast, and the lighting and all that stuff. Like, it just felt very, like, frenetic energy, which I don't equate with Elvis. It was a beautiful movie. It was really well done. The acting was great.
Baz Luhrmann-y. You nailed it.
But
right
it was
there.
very Baz Luhrmann-y.
Yeah.
So that being said, let's talk about what we're watching right now, because I did just finish watching that, and I also I'm kind of getting caught up on Oscar nominated films. And one of the ones that was nominated was called Triangle of Sadness.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not a movie for kids. This is not a movie for families at all.
That's why I don't know it.
No, you don't know it. But I watched it, and I was like, oh.
Was it Best Picture nomination?
It's nominated for Best Picture,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And it was a very... I want to say it had, not a message, because that sounds so cheesy, but it was commentary on what's sort of happening in the world today with wealthy people, the difference in classes, social media influencers, all of that stuff. It was a commentary on that. And it was a really interesting story, and it's told in 3 chapters. It doesn't go where you expect it's going to go. And in that respect, in that way, I really enjoyed it as from a storytelling and film perspective. I don't know if it's Best Picture, but it was like something I've never seen before.
Class culture is very big right now.
Yeah.
In movie themes.
Sure.
The exploration of class culture and the dichotomy between upper and lower and even middle class.
I think that's a reflection too of what's happening on social media. There's a lot of social media pushback against the wealthiest people in the world and
one percenters.
And the 1%ers. And so I think that's sort of a reflection of what's happening there. But anyway, so Triangle of Sadness, definitely not one to watch with the kids.
Sure.
But it's, if you like to watch arty films, then that's one to put on your list. All right, Channing, what are you recommending and what are you into this week?
I am recommending Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a show that's actually been out for some time.
It's a
on
sitcom.
Nickelodeon. It's a sitcom. And what do you like about it?
I'm mostly watching it on Netflix, so I have to say that.
Yeah, it is streaming on Netflix as well.
I like about it. I don't know why I like it, but it's just I'm obsessed with sitcoms. Some types of sitcoms are not that great, and some are good. I really like Dicky, Ricky, Dicky and Dawn because my mom's on it. And they are, let me tell you basically the whole point of the story. They're quadruplets.
Okay.
So their mom and dad gave birth to quadruplets, and they basically get in trouble in every single episode, try to solve it. They learn a lesson. It's not animated. It's real live action. So Dawn is the only girl, and all of her brothers, there are 3 brothers and 1 girl. 2 girls in the house and 4 boys in the house.
All right.
I know.
So you really like that show. Good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a really funny show. I recommend it to the age group of...
You don't have to give age group
I'm
recommendations.
going to give
You know
age
that, don't you?
groups.
You don't have to give age group recommendations.
6 and up.
Okay, 6
6 and up.
Wow, okay, that's a pretty good one. All right, thank you for transplaining that.
There you go.
All right,
No
so
problem.
let's talk about, actually that wasn't your transplaining,
Yeah,
that was
that
what you're
wasn't.
watching. So now we need to talk about transplaining.
Yeah.
What are you transplaining this week?
Blocksburg.
Yay.
So it's this game on Roblox where it's kind of like real life. You get a job, you get paid for it, you pay off your bills at your house, you actually get to build your own house. And also, you could also buy your own house. There's like this huge mansion that I've been saving up. It's like $70,000. I also just bought a new car, $25,000, down the waste bucket. Now I'm living on $1,000. But yeah, my house is super simple. It costs Robux to make a basement and another floor. I only get like about 100.
Okay, let's talk about, what is the game? What is it?
I just explained it.
Yeah, but like you play with other players? You play by yourself? Yeah.
lady, let me explain.
Okay.
So you basically, there are two options to play. There are two options to play in the game. You could either build a house for all of your time in the game or do RPs. RP stands for role play. Like, so let's say ABC for kid, ABC for mom, and someone says ABC, they want to be the kid or the mom. So you basically play pretend in the game. And
do you chat with other people while you do that?
If you have a chat in the game, yes, you chat and you say ABC for mom or something like that.
Okay.
And if they say ABC, that probably means they're going to join you.
So you don't play with other people though. You mostly just play with
I mostly
friends.
play with my friends, but you can play with online people if you want. Just don't, if they give you a friend request, I don't really suggest that you accept it because you don't really know them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
all right. Cool.
It costs Robux to play though.
We know you. The more stuff you do around the house, the more Robux you get.
Yeah.
So Blocksburg.
So far, you do nothing.
Blocksburg is a Roblox game. It's a game inside Roblox.
Yes, there are millions of games.
Okay,
in
but
Roblox.
Blocksburg is definitely one of your favorites.
My two favorites are actually Adopt Me and Roblox.
Yeah, she talked about Adopt Me in a previous expert. All right, cool.
Right. Okay.
All right, thanks, Chan.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move on to Brooker Beats. What should we be listening to this week?
Well, and you might get a kick out of this one, Depeche Mode.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a new album coming out middle of March, actually. It's called, I'm bringing it up right now, Memento Mori, and the new single is called Ghosts Again. Now, a year ago, I don't know if you're aware, their keyboardist died. Andy Fletcher died.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a year since that happened, and Dave Gahan and the other frontman for Depeche Mode decided to put out a new album, and this is that album. And Ghosts Again is the first single. And, you know, when you listen to it, it's like putting on a friend.
A comfy old sweater.
A comfy old sweater. You automatically know, this is Depeche Mode. This is what I expect to hear from Depeche Mode.
Emo jacket.
And you're a huge Depeche Mode fan, I know, and I like him too. We've seen him live a couple of times out here in LA, and it's good to see them kind of back in form. And especially after the tragedy of losing their keyboardist, this album was kind of what they said putting out this album is they wanted to make a Depeche Mode album like he would have wanted to make, and it seems like they were just stepped right into it, and it's perfect.
I'm really excited for that because I grew up listening to Depeche Mode, and I loved the Violator album. Like,
what a good album!
Is a quintessential moment in time for the 80s and 80s music, and emo kids and wannabe emo kids.
Emo.
I absolutely loved it, so I'm really excited to listen to more about that.
Yeah, I think the single. The single is only available now. You can only listen to the single, but they're going to be releasing more as it gets closer time to the release date, which I believe is March 24th.
Cool.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm hoping Channing will start expanding her music horizons.
I'm starting to. I'm listening to 21 Pilots.
Good for you.
Oh, there you go.
And stuff like that.
So
Hotels. There's this band called Hotel. Is it Hotels or Hotel?
I don't know.
I don't really remember, but Hotel has a song named Hotel.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of cool.
That's a little
extra.
In-depth. Yeah, a little extra.
Well, I'm glad you're broadening your musical horizons.
It's so important. You got to listen to like different kinds of music, and it's so important, especially since you're an actor and you like to be in performing and singing and stuff like that. It's good to know different types of musics that's out there.
To see what other people like.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because all my friends like Bad Bunny and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever listened to Bad Bunny? Yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of cuss words.
I think there are a lot of swears.
And it also, I think some of my friends listen to Eminem.
Oh, yeah. Dog, that's a lot of swears.
A lot of cuss words.
Eminem's a great artist. Maybe when you're a little older, you can listen to him. But yeah. Definitely good to explore some different music options.
Yeah.
21 Pilots is fun. They're like a millennial 311, in my opinion. But that's just my old man talking.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of exploring, please take a minute and find your way around the subscribe button and the comment button. Take a minute, subscribe to our show. We'd absolutely love for you guys to keep listening. We have more fun episodes coming up where we have some guests lined up as well. Can't wait to share that with you all. And thank you so much for listening and have a great week.